Hello and welcome to episode 169 of Nintendo Therapy. I'm Sean. Joining me this week to do some vampire crawling is Kevin and Harrison.
And I did play that game, but I don't know if we're starting with that. But Sean, you tell me, what are we
No, we're
starting with
not.
today?
We're starting with agree disagree, but we will get into some uh game that will dominate your lifetime later.
Right.
Because my goodness.
Let's talk games later. Let's do some agree disagree. Which Kevin, that's your segment. So take it away.
Okay, so always a fun segment. It's always fun to see where people land on the spectrum that is video games. So we'll just start off right away. We'll get right into it. Agree, disagree. Nintendo relies too much on nostalgia.
I'll say disagree because rely is a very broad term. So I'm kind of stuck with
Okay.
that with the semantics of this one. Uh,
Yeah.
I
Well, they definitely rely on it in terms of how they make their bank for the year. Like they definitely pepper in nostalgic releases saying these will be our safety net and we can experiment with other things. But I guess the question is are they doing too much of that?
I'm usually the one who's very critical of the nostalgia part of it, and
I mean,
I would still say no. I would still say I disagree because I think in the end all that matters is what the consumers dictate. And if that's what the consumers want, that is perfectly fine. As much as I would want to see Nintendo put out two new IPs every year. So
I mean, hey, if they were relying too much on nostalgia, we'd probably have that Star Fox game news. What do you think, Sean?
Would agree because the recent movie relied heavily on it and you're right. They always put those safety net things in, and then they don't really get as creative as they used to, I guess, on a lot of these things. They play it a
Yeah.
little safe, so that it's almost nostalgia to make some moolah and to reach the biggest audience possible without like hopefully angering anybody and alienating anyone. So yeah, I'd like them to get out of the comfort zone, try some new stuff.
I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I would just like them to start announcing their games a little further out. Like they multiple times in the last few years, we've only gotten like 2 months notice. Like in May, they're like, "Hey, this is coming out in July." And I'm like, I would really like to anticipate a game a little more and plan my my budget and things like that. Dude, like give me at least 6 months. Come on. But that's not really related to nostalgia. That's just a practice of theirs. Okay, next one. Agree or disagree? Charizard's overrated. They put him on everything. It's a big dinosaur. It's on your lunch boxes. It's on your bed sheets. Is he overrated?
I disagree. I don't know if I see him as much. I
Hmm.
like because I see Pokemon everywhere. We've talked about this
Yeah.
either on this pod or off. Just like different merchandising. Like I see Snoopy everywhere now. All of that. But even if you replace this and said Pikachu, I would still disagree because he's so iconic. But staying on topic, Charizard, I think in Gen 1, everyone knows that he is the most popular, but is maybe the least useful or the most underpowered of the three starters that you
Hmm.
evolve.
Well,
At least
that's
until
where I was going to go with
at
it.
least until you get
Is
to
it
the later
depends on
game.
what overrated means.
So, I don't I never liked Charizard in the I call it anime. He's a jerk. I never really liked them. And it's weird. Well, but I also understood why he's a jerk because his childhood was he was left to die. He was left to die out in the rain, which is crazy. So, anyways, Sean, what do you think?
I didn't know he had such a tragic backstory. But,
Oh, it's horrible.
Wait till you
I
read Cubone.
oh, I know some of them are very dark. I disagree just because I feel like they occasionally drag Charizard out, like the Lego thing, but I don't see Charizard everywhere, so I can't go with overrated.
I think it depends on what you mean by overrated. Like I wouldn't say he's oversaturated. He's not like you guys have mentioned, he's not in everything, but if we're talking about like his in-game stats like Harrison brought up, versus other Pokemon, then yeah, people kind of think he's stronger than he is. So that's how I'd say it depends on what you're asking for. All right, the Nintendo 64, sticking with cartridges, was the right choice. I want to start with this one. This is one I definitely agree with. Um, at the time, I realized what it cost them, and I realized that they had to struggle to do things like get Resident Evil 2 to fit onto a cartridge. But the Nintendo 64 not having loading screens at the time, I know we live way further from the time now. At the time, I do remember that being something that kind of put me off PlayStation for a while. And like every time I would sit through a long loading screen on a PlayStation game, I was like, what the heck? Like I want to play. Like I would get frustrated. So and they put out really good games that also got you to sink 60 hours in without needing to put it on a disc. So I don't know. I agree that if they went one more generation further, I'd say it was the wrong choice. But in 1995, 94 is when the development started. I think that was the right choice.
I think you're cheating a little bit, but it's your segment. I think you
Okay.
are. I think you are, but I understand, but you didn't frame it in the context of is it good that the N64 didn't have loading screens? Because plenty of
Oh,
cartridges have loading screens, but
well,
I
that's just what the
guess
question means to me. Because every time I see people talk about why Nintendo went with cartridges, that's the first thing they say is because they didn't want to have loading screens.
it's what it means to use it, and it is your segment, as I said. I'm mostly just in a weird mood today. All right.
I
Um,
mean, I honestly think that might be a little bit of PR and a little bit of a lie. I think the biggest part to them was it was a proprietary, you know, thing where the companies had to pay them to make the cartridges. So they really liked that aspect of it as well.
well, I'll keep my answer short. Obviously, um, it was the right choice because if it wasn't the right choice, we wouldn't have cartridges now. And I think I've said it on here many times. I think the GameCube discs were one of the biggest mistakes that Nintendo could have made at the time. So
Yeah.
I think that was a huge blunder for them. Make full size discs. Don't try to make something so proprietary, or at least give us the option to play DVDs in our system. That's all.
Yeah, like the Xbox had an external
Mm.
DVD drive. They
Yeah.
could have done that, and they never even did that.
Yeah, and I'll always say it on here. If it sounds silly, it was not silly back then. Like not being able to play being able to play DVDs on your system was, in my opinion, a big deal at the time, and being able to upload your own music or play your own music on
Well,
your system.
Sean, I'm sorry to dominate, but I'll just say this and I'll pass it over to you. It's it's kind of what they're doing today because every other system has streaming services except the Switch. So they're still
Right.
kind of doing that. They're still kind of saying like, no, this is for games and only games.
I mean, like
I
like
mean,
like,
Uh,
like,
the
like no
Wii
Netflix. They need
yeah,
yeah, the
Netflix.
Wii
They
we had
need
a Netflix disc for crying out loud.
yeah,
for
No, I
what?
mean, I think cartridges were the right way to go, and I associate cartridges with video games more than discs, so they all just tie together to me. Like, I don't know, just And especially because Nintendo stuck with cartridges and then brought them back. I just associate it with them in general, so I agree.
I will keep going here. The portability of the Switch makes up for the step down in power. I guess this would be Switch 2 as well.
Sure,
I
sure.
mean, yeah, I agree. I agree that the portability makes it worthwhile. I mean, Switch 2, I feel like developers maybe have gotten a better handle on it now. You're seeing more
Yeah.
third-party games that you wouldn't think would run on it. So, yeah, I think that's a big factor there. And I've never been a like hardware power graphics guy, so doesn't make a difference anyway.
Well, yeah, because I feel like by the time we got to the PlayStation 4, even we had reached the point where it's like, how much more do you need? You know, you can already make a giant game that looks gorgeous in this with these limitations.
Well, I'll
Harrison?
I'll push back on that a little bit. I would agree with your statement, and I never think that any other company is going to take place of Nintendo, like especially like Valve or anything. I think Valve
Mm.
will be viewed in the hardware market much differently in 10 years, but for now, I don't see that as being an issue. With that being said, I think Nintendo needs to hurry the hell up with their hardware because we're seeing a lot of portable hardware now that can play very, very powerful games. And it's not quite where I'm imagining it, but it will get to a point where you will see portable systems that can have a good battery life, that can play powerful games that are even smaller, perhaps. And that's all in the future, though. I think they will, though, and I think there's a good chance that you see Nintendo put out a dual screen system again at some point, because I think that is kind of coming back around. That's all. That's all.
All right, we'll do one more just for the sake of time. We'll make it a nice 5 question round. Question 5. Most developers did not use the Wii motion control enough. Sean, you can start this one.
Oh, disagree. Dear God, every Wii game tried to shoehorn it in. Like it's part of why I never beat returns on Wii was friggin' motion controls. No, I recently or a couple months ago we tried playing the Sonic Mario Olympics on Wii. I thought I got in a UFC fight. I was so sore from it. No, the hell with motion controls. It's a horrible idea.
I have it on my DS. It's probably much better. There's no motion controls.
Oh, too old for that.
I I disagree. I was sitting here just now thinking, should there have been just more games for the Wii? Like, I certainly didn't want motion controls in every game, but
No.
was there just not enough games that were for the Wii? I don't really know. And I also kind of liked, like, I really enjoyed like World of Goo on the Wii because of like the point and click sort of thing you could do
Yeah.
on that. That was cool, and that kind
Metroid Prime I
of
did not like. I've played both versions. I don't like aiming with the Wiimote in Prime.
yeah.
No.
Just perhaps there wasn't as many games, but no, I wouldn't have changed. I would have gone the other way. I disagree.
Yeah. All right, that was a good. You know what though, actually before I wrap it up, you know what I think this is like almost like a similar question to, maybe I'll put it in next time is I would agree with this on the Wii U where I don't think they use the gamepad enough, but we'll save that for another time. And that was agree disagree.
Right.
I,
Um.
I don't know if how that you pronounce this, but demo moded, demo moded,
Oh,
however you want.
we can do that now. Sure. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, you have to decide. It's your segment.
Well, it's just
I get.
demoted, but it's got demo highlighted is how I typed it. That's how
Oh,
demoted is spelled.
All right. Well, welcome to Demoted. It's about demos. I finally got around to playing the Shinobi Art of Vengeance demo, and, I liked it enough that so I suddenly kinda realized that my brother-in-law owns 4,000 games. Maybe I should just borrow some of them. So, that's what I did with Shinobi last time I saw him, I grabbed it to play it, but, no, really, really solid demo. Sega gives you the very first level, first boss. Um, Beautiful artwork, like, gorgeous game. Challenging, like, it's not easy, but that's why I like that they gave you a demo. So if this is not something you're used to, you can give it a shot and be like, "Oh god, no, I will never play this." But, it's one of the better demos I've played because it does a good job of teaching you the game, but it spaces it out, so it's not just you know how some tutorials, it's like one thing after the other?
Yeah.
Like, just yeah, this spaces everything out, lets you play it. Uh, so what's funny is the demo gives you an ability that I didn't know you get later in the game. So when I started the game officially, I'm like, "What where's this, like,
Mm.
ninja swing rope thing I had? Oh, I don't have it. You can't get it yet." So I thought that was funny that the demo threw that in there, so you're like, "Oh, alright." But I think they did that to show you that the levels are pretty expansive and have a lot of secrets. So when I actually completed the level in the game, I only got, like, 30% of it. But again, the demo does a perfect job of showing you that the levels are gonna have a lot in them. So, yeah, totally sold me on the game, so highly recommend it. I don't know, have you guys played Shinobi outside of us doing spotlight of it?
No, no, it looks great. I really like this sort of art style, and I think this art style fits really well in this system.
Yeah, I like that
Okay.
I like that they're keeping it 2D
I wanna say
or going back to, I guess.
PS2 had a 3D Shinobi I remember playing that was, like,
Yep.
impossible. Like, people that like Shinobi don't like it. So I think that was a good choice to go back to the 2D. Uh, I've only ever beaten the first Shinobi, but that was with save states
Mhm.
because those NES games are insanely hard. Actually, console classics or console archives, Shinobi 3 is available now to purchase as well. If anybody's grabbing those, but no, I really liked it. I'm trying to, just play different stuff so I'm not just doing the same thing over and over. I like that this is, a standard action adventure side scrolling game and it's not a Metroidvania. So I like that element of it because I don't know, I feel like there's too many of them now. I feel like every
Mhm.
game does that. So I like that they just kind of went with a traditional, almost 90s feel for it. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. The first boss is actually very challenging, so I can only imagine how much more difficult the game gets. And if it goes on sale, they just did a DLC where they added, I think, 5 stages and 3 boss fights. So there's a Dr. Robotnik themed thing where you fight him, uh, Blackadder from Golden Axe, and I wanna say the guy from Yakuza. I could be wrong.
Mhm.
So they did, like, this Sega villains thing, so I thought that was kind of a cool
That's really
idea.
cool.
Yeah.
So, just I don't know, I like when developers do something different and jam their other IPs in there, even though none of that makes sense in Shinobi, but I think it works.
I think you'll be seeing that a
And that
lot with
is
Sega.
a great benefit to just being a traditional side scroller
Yeah.
is it's much easier to give you added DLC levels with that than if everything is like this Swiss watch where it's in there for a reason of a Metroidvania.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a solid game, and it's still the only
Not
whatever they wanna.
impossible to do with a Metroidvania, but takes a
No,
little bit
because
more. Yeah.
Hollow Knight did it, but it was more like boss
Yeah.
gauntlets and things like that.
Yeah,
But
and there was not another Metroid 2 remake or whatever that one's called where they kept adding to it all the time, and that's the
yeah,
literal
yeah.
Metroid game.
So the only thing on this is, Streets of Rage 4 and Shinobi Art of Vengeance are the only Sega series that have had their comebacks, even though they've said Crazy Taxi and Golden Axe, and so
It's
I'm hoping
I
that other stuff's still
yeah.
coming.
I think we're getting some announcements this year hopefully,
Oh,
and
Jam and Earl.
and
Do they own
there's
that?
No, but
Oh,
it's just two guys. It's just two guys who work with Sega and publish
okay.
through Sega. So
well, yeah, the first
the
one
two
being
guys.
the first one being Toe Jam. Sorry, I'm being silly, and the second one
Second
being
one being Bill.
It's a lot like Ninja Turtles, really. Before they Kevin and Peter sold the franchise, it's creator owned. These two guys created the characters, and all the way up to the most recent one, it's just them. I'd like them to re-release the third one because the only way to play it is on like Xbox, but that'll never happen.
uh,
Never say never. Xbox might be making the
Yeah.
ship go in the right direction finally, but I don't know. I highly recommend it, and this is a segment I thought I'd do every so often. So I think next time uh, I'll talk about the Pragmata demo, which also resulted in me buying the game. So
Oh, I have a
again,
question.
yeah,
So raise my hand. If this is you mentioned that the demo takes away that grappling hook. So is this not a demo that saves your progress?
no, I don't believe
Okay.
it's a demo that carries anything over. I know Square likes to do that with their stuff, which is cool, but those are RPGs, so it makes a little more sense. But it was just
okay.
interesting to me that they threw a game mechanic in, and then I started the game, and I'm like, "Where's this thing? You can't get it yet." Oh, okay. So-
Then I have a question then, because I don't know
okay.
with all the modern Sega games when you load up this game, do you remember like do they play the Sega or do they do the
No,
bump?
no, you just get the big Sega logo. That's it.
Do they play the like the jump scare like thing though like
No.
the bump? That's what they do in Yakuza, and like there have been so many times I've been like sitting like right here and I'm like, oh my god. Like because it's pretty loud like if you forget to turn down your volume and you're like doing something else and you forget about it. But
Although I will say the music's really good in the game too. Not that I was surprised by that, but yeah, totally worth checking out. And it is on sale or it goes on sale a lot. One of the two.
well, Sega therapy, very cool. All right, John, what do we got next?
So Harrison, you've brought us wrong answers only back.
All right,
So,
cool. You know what? My graphic looks messed up now, but I'm gonna spin the wheel and you know because we've been too serious this episode so far, so we can't be serious for at least the next like 5 minutes or so. Kevin, I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna spin this wheel, and you give me an answer, but it has to be anything but the actual correct answer. All right, so this is Nintendo Direct Edition. Nintendo announces a new console. What's its gimmick?
Um, it's a throwback. We're bringing back the old rhythm instrument playing games, but they are actual instruments. You have to play real guitar and real bass and real drum. Well, the drums were always kind of real, actually. But yeah, you have to actually learn how to play.
I've had
The
that
Zelda
idea.
game, when they when they do the Ocarina of Time remake, it's a real ocarina. You have to play the song for real.
it'd be
I've
so
thought of
bad.
that idea so many times, where like because we all lived through the Guitar Hero, like how crazy that era was.
Mhm.
Like I remember people playing Guitar Hero after prom. And not like the nerdy kids either, but like just like
Yeah.
everybody playing that game. Uh, all right, all right. That sounds wrong, Sean. Wrong answer only. And what's the weirdest new Switch accessory they revealed at the previous direct?
I thought it was weird that they just revealed the money hole where you just give them money. You don't know where it goes or what it's for, but Nintendo demands your money, and it's a minimum of 20. So If you
And
want
you
to
can't
stay
write it
in,
off on your taxes.
nope. It's just it goes to whatever they need it to go to, but you gladly pay it. So that was a weird kind of announcement.
I thought that was pretty smart of them to do that. They've been paying attention to the people on Twitter that are like, "Oh, you don't like that I'm spending $20 on it? Now I'm gonna spend $40 on it." And they were like, "Cool, cool. Well, here's this cool thing
Harrison
called
is
the
the
money
most
hole."
anti-consumer one on the show, though.
All right. Well, um, I skipped the video order for me, so I'll see what I get next. Um, so let's see. Do I get the Pokemon one? What what's the next Pokemon gimmick or Pokemon mechanic? Um, Strangely enough, the Pokemon are now going to work for you now, which isn't that strange. I guess that was kind of what they did in Pocopia, but now they are going to cook for you. They're going to do your Poke taxes. They are going to what else do you need to do? Pick you up, pick you up from the pub, you know, things like that. And then they're gonna catch Pokemon for you as well. It'd be kind of like an incremental type of game. Like, you catch the Pokemon and then the Pokemon catch the Pokemon. And then it all gets messed up. But anyways, Kevin, next one. And listeners, you leave your wrong answers as well. All
It's
right,
always on the
Kevin.
line. Yeah.
Nintendo adds a new online feature. What does it do?
Well, I don't know how this is gonna go, but it connects the new Mario Kart World game to your dashboard camera, and you have to actually drive your car the way you do in the game. So we'll see how that one goes and works out for them.
I think they're getting sued for that one. I I think that one's not going to work out so well.
Fine.
But if there's any dead air on this, I'll cut it out. This randomizer wheel kind of takes a while.
We need applause, is what we need in there. Yeah, like it's a game show. Background music.
That's all I got. Uh, this is of course Nintendo. Sean, what's the next game getting a remake that absolutely doesn't need one?
So I found it odd and kind of, you know, took it personal that they're remaking Ice Climbers. Why?
It
That was a
should.
terrible game. Why would you bring that back?
I'd
Yeah,
be
it's
day
in
one.
3D now. Great. Who cares? It has online only co-op because why would you want a couch co-op with someone in Ice Climbers?
It's Ice
You just
Climber.
oh no, it's Ice Climbers. There's
Well,
two
well,
of
No,
them.
well
it's
it
Climber.
well, didn't you see that the new one's going to be called Ice Climbers?
Oh, so they're doing like Aliens.
Right,
The sequel SES.
right.
That's why it's a remake, is they were like, we always wanted to put an S in the title, and now we're finally able to do that. Fortunately, it's cheaper digitally than it is physically, though I thought the
It's
Mountaineer
even
edition was
it's
a
even
little
less mentally.
overpriced. So for $180, you can get actual climbing equipment with the game. So I don't know how that's gonna pan out, but hey, Ice Climbers is back.
That makes sense. What are those sticks called? They stick in the ice.
Oh, yeah. Those
Pitons?
like ski sticks. Yeah.
That's not what they're called though. They're not called ski
No,
sticks.
I don't know. I'm just saying I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Leave us a comment if you know, because it's like a vocabulary word I've done in my classes before, and I'm always like, oh yeah, That's a word I don't use very much. But it sounds like another word as well. But anyways, yeah, Ice Climbers is coming back. That's so strange. And what do we call, like, it's a cult following of fans, like the fans of Ice Climbers. What did they call them? What did they call themselves?
Sherpas.
I don't think they're Sherpas. I don't think they're
I
Sherpas.
don't know.
Climies?
And I was trying to come up
Climbing?
with a way to mix the word Nintendo and Sherpa, and I had nothing.
Nin-
Nerpas?
Nerpas?
Nintenderpas?
Yeah, there you go.
That doesn't sound too good. All right, so for me, what's the next completely unnecessary Mario spinoff? Uh, you know, I think it's strange that Toad's getting his own game. Speaking of things that Sean will hate, um, in this last direct we had Ice Climbers and Toad. We were going crazy on the Discord talking about this, and it's unnecessary because Toad's not going to do anything in this game. Just going to complain about things. So,
Can I pitch an answer?
sure.
Mario teaches texting.
Like
You
the
know Mario teaches typing? His
Yeah, I
phone
got I
is
got
for
it.
yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. I like it. I kind of like it though. I was thinking about it for a moment. All right. So, we are going to each do one more each, and let's see how the end of this goes. Kevin, which completely random crossover did Nintendo just reveal?
I got a lot of faith in this project. I think Metroid meets Toe Jam and Earl has a lot of potential. I mean, the space alien environments, Metroidvania, Toe Jam and Earl with their hip hop influence. I really want to see Samus breakdancing. It's going to be a good time.
And the title is so cool. You remember the title? What's that title of that game?
Metroid and Earl?
Okay.
Yeah, I was excited for that, and I'm excited for the Luigi's Mansion versus Terrifier game. They're trying to get a little bit of a more mature audience. So
My improv is off today. Sean, let's see. Nintendo just opened a direct. What was their first announcement?
Metroid and Earl.
Metroid Jam and Earl? That's what I would have called it.
oh man, what was their first announcement? Oh, they announced that they have accessories for the talking flower you can buy. So now you can dress them up for all the different holidays if you want, as a bunny ears and a Santa hat, and you can make them look like a turkey in Thanksgiving. So don't worry though, you have to be a Nintendo Online member to be able to buy these things. They're just not letting anybody get them. They don't want scalpers getting a hold of all this stuff. So
You would think that you can just like 3D print those things, but no. No, it has to be the official.
if it's not
Nin-
officially licensed and you put it on the flower, it bursts into flames.
I actually only had two more on here, I guess. But anyways, the last one can be, what's the final one more thing announcement to close the direct? What would be something that no one would expect?
Oh, I know.
Kevin, what is it?
Mario and Sonic at the Lincoln assassination.
Okay.
I always thought it was funny that it was at the Olympic Games as if they were going to be at other places. Like it never happened.
It's the Mario is missing / Mario's Time Machine sequel you never thought you'd see.
And then they're like specific about it too. They're like at the Nagano Olympics, you know? So it's like, can they be at other specific things too?
Okay,
Yeah, it's just them
add something.
preventing
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Something
it's
like
all
that.
them preventing
That
historical
was the least
tragedies.
offensive one.
Well, I'll bring it up
Mario and
now,
Sonic
and we'll close out this
saved the
part.
Titanic.
uh, we're going to be talking about Kimco later, and for our spotlight. And I realized, like, wow, like I don't know, like, does Kimco still makes games? And I don't know nearly anything about that company. And they're still a pretty large company, but Kimco was also the company that made Genocide and Genocide 2 on the Super Nintendo. And I was like, Genocide 2. It's like, do you need a sequel to that game? Like, it's like that's a sequel that everyone was waiting for.
Mario and
Uh,
Sonic take your date to the prom. Oh man.
Mario and Sonic at your parents' divorce trial.
Objection.
let's talk about vampire crawlers. Is that it? That's
So
it, right?
I mean the most important video game release of the year. So really it doesn't matter what else comes out. Um, Vampire Crawlers released this week for the primo price of $10 if you're hesitant about throwing some money at Ponicle. So it's the pseudo sequel to Vampire Survivors. It's a deck building dungeon crawler roguelike. Um, they always just like mashing stuff together and see what happens, but I've been having a blast and trying to moderate, the amount of time I spend with this game because Vampire Survivors and any other vampire related games from Ponicle tend to dominate your existence. So, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I feel like it's got deeper mechanics than Survivors, and it's going to take a lot longer to kind of get a grasp on it. But I don't know. I think they just made another stellar game, and I have nothing bad to say about it. I mean, this is definitely one I almost would recommend this over Survivors because it's more chill. I mean, it gets a little hectic once you start throwing combos and everything out, but it's not, bullet hell stuff continuously coming at you the whole time. So I think it's much more approachable than Survivors, but I've just been loving it. Like it's fun. Again, it's they make games that are fun, and that's such a rare like thing to consistently do, I guess, now in the
Yeah.
game industry. But I'm looking forward to see how they add to it and if they throw any other crazy crossovers since they did Contra and Castlevania and Balatro, and I can only imagine what they could do with this one.
There's
So
gonna be so
I don't
many.
know, Harrison. I know you've been playing it finally, so
I finally played it last night. I'm happy I did because I wasn't. I went back and forth. I didn't have a lot of time to put towards it, and I knew once I cracked it, I might want to just like I might get distracted. I'm just so impressed by the fact that like a indie developer can come out with a debut game and just have it be such a big success, and then from there have just their own formula now for just making
yeah.
other games because it doesn't stop here. They said on
Oh
social
no, they have a
media
bunch of
they have
stuff.
a lot of other games planned that I bet are going to follow the same Vampire Survivors Steam, and just the fact that like they were able to adapt and take their formula and put it towards a game like this, which is so much fun, looks so nice, like has such a nice nostalgic feel to it. And you mentioned that you'd recommend this one over Survivors. I agree because I think everything this developer does is intentional. So like I was playing just right here on my computer last night, and at any point if I need to like get up or change my YouTube video or get a snack or something, like I don't even need to pause the game. I can just leave it where it is. So I think um, when they set out to make this game, I think they used to work with like casinos or something. Like they clearly know the psychology behind like how to keep people engaged in their games.
Hmm.
I think just they made sure both of these games are very accessible to every single type of gamer that there is. I mean, Vampire Survivors in reality is just one step above like an incremental type game. It's like
Yeah.
somewhere between that and a roguelike. But yeah, I've played this game for about 2 hours and um, I just got hooked in that loop immediately. It still has the Vampire Survivors goodness of like the gems flying everywhere and like you
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
good combo and you're like, "Oh, I just sliced through those guys. That felt really good." So like it's all the dopamine goodness in Vampire Survivors that you get in this dungeon crawler deck builder. I can't say enough, guys, about this developer. I mean, just like totally respectful of your time, respectful of your money, and when you have that, you're like, oh sure, I'm gonna buy your game day one, even if I don't play it on day one, because you deserve to have more of my money. You gave me a 200-hour experience for like I don't know plus DLC less than $20.
20. Say
Yeah, $20
$20 maybe.
maybe. And I bought it on two different systems. So I
Yep.
that's it. I
Now I'm
can't see
thinking
more.
of it. I would love to see an old school Doom collaboration with crawlers. That would be awesome.
I think fans of this developer and the series understand it, but I don't think they understand what's going to come down the stretch of this. Very nice release, highly reviewed, but developers are going to follow money. So yes, Doom could be in the future because Castlevania was like, yeah, you guys are making all this
Yeah.
money. Let me come on over here. It's not just
Yep.
the like, oh, you're making a cool game. No, it's also like let's all get our bread, you know? So, I think we see huge collaborations in the future and they're just going to keep making
So,
games.
Kevin,
Yeah.
I know you never jumped on the bandwagon, which is good because, a decade of your life will go by in days. Um, this one look a little more interesting, or you still kind of like all set?
I do like the card thing that I'm seeing here, but I'll also say I never felt more like the Clueless Gamer Conan segments where it just sounds like I'm hearing like, and the jib jab and the flip flam or with the like I don't but I'm glad to hear it's enjoyable and maybe someday I'll get around to it. But right now I'm keeping my vampire hunting on Castlevania and I want to kind of play as many of those as I can before the new one drops.
I I will say like this is a game that I'm so happy I picked up because it's not like a game that I would typically play. Uh,
I
Yeah.
almost got Balatro a few times, but I think that's one I will get eventually. It's on my like list, and I see it every time it goes on sale. So that could lead to this.
yeah,
I still haven't jumped on Balatro
don't
because
do
I
it.
don't do it.
Balatro is such a damn problem. It is
Because
such a problem.
Vampire Survivors, I always make sure everyone knows it's your fault because you started that horrible addiction
Yeah.
that has never gone away. But
Yep. Yeah,
Oh, they're shiny.
Balatro, I guess there's no like real end game to it. like you can unlock everything, but I eventually was just like, I'm putting it down, like because because I gave up every other game I'd played at the time, and I mentioned to you guys yesterday that on the 30th, I believe, the end of this month, they're releasing Dungeon Crawlers on Switch, which is a
Oh
roguelike,
yeah, yeah.
crane game. It's so much fun. It's such a fun game. I've only played for about 5 hours or so, but God, there are so many fun
I'll
roguelikes out there.
I'll keep it on the radar. It's just I don't have like I
Yeah.
said, I'm trying to
Play Hades
limit
2
my
first and play
playtime.
all the other good roguelikes. I need to play Hades 2 this year, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. Because I could see myself investing a lot of time in this game.
Well,
And
you both have Splintered Fate now. I mean, I know you play roguelikes, but Kevin has finally, jumped into the genre, so
Yeah, I finally know what they are now.
yeah, it's great. I love it. It's just there's just not enough time. But I'll always take that. I
yeah.
always if there's just good game, as long as there's good games out there, then it's perfectly fine. But yeah, I think it'll
So
be
I
this in Hades too. Yeah,
I think Vampire Crawlers is a perfect segue into the Spotlight
it
because they
really
kinda
is.
get the same vibe. So
I thought the exact same thing, and at the same time, I got an opposite vibe. But we'll get into that.
so what are we talking about this week?
Spotlight this week. If you've ever wanted a game where you talk to trees, then have I got a game for you. Released for the Nintendo Game Boy in 1989, The Sword of Hope is a first person menu driven role playing game developed by Camco that blends dungeon crawling with puzzle solving elements. The story follows Prince Theo as he sets out to rescue his father, King Hennessy, who has been transformed into stone by an evil sorcerer. Gameplay alternates between navigating static grid-based environments and engaging in turn-based combat with players using commands to attack, kind of like Dragon Quest, I would say. You cast spells, interact with objects via text. It often requires careful observation to uncover hidden items or clues. While its pacing can feel slow by modern standards, the game stands out for its moody atmosphere, early attempt at narrative driven gameplay on a handheld system, and its unique hybrid of adventure and RPG mechanics that help pave the way for later portable role playing titles. And the first note that I have for this week is I said, this is the type of game people were playing on PC before I knew anybody who owned a PC.
Yep.
Like I really skipped this whole chapter in video game history. I've never completed a game like this, and I almost like I tried to complete this one for the spotlight this week. I got about halfway in. It's a very long game, which there might be someone who bought this in 1989 that's still playing it. It's it's got a lot of content if that's what you're into.
Yeah, I played it for about 3 hours. I couldn't beat the tree monster. So, but I really enjoyed it. I was impressed by it because to be a launchier game and to kind of
Mhm.
be this ambitious, I mean, it's very simplistic gameplay and everything by today's standards, but I think for the time, it's crazy they even were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this on the Game Boy." Like, "What? Okay."
If it were made today, it would require a lot less grinding. Like you
Yeah.
definitely need to grind out to level up your character and raise money for gear and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's all very, very ambitious. I was thinking about other ambitious games we've played for spotlights, like Nightshade or just like other games like that that were also on Super Nintendo. And I struggled this week with trying to put myself in that 1991 space of where like how would I feel when this game came out. It's just not really a game that I would play, and I want to separate that bias from my first impressions. But it was difficult, but I think that even if I played it back in 1991, the feeling of ambition would wear off rather quickly with the execution of it all. I think it's too slow moving. I think it's maybe a bit too difficult. Like there's no problem with difficult games, but I think overall the balance is off. Everything that would be expected trying to make a PC type game on Super Nintendo, but if I'm trying to judge it based on the game that is in front of us, I didn't like it that much. I just didn't. Um, so I don't know. Like I'm very impressed by it. Uh,
You basically need
yeah.
to ask yourself if you like playing RPGs, are you okay with the frame rate getting turned down to 1? Because that's basically what this is.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed my time with it. I'll probably gonna go back to it and see if I actually can legit beat it. It's very tabletop RPG, but
Yeah.
by yourself to me, which I like because that's something I've gotten into in my old age, playing D&D and whatnot. But I know as a kid, if I had this, I probably would have thrown myself into it 100% and probably wouldn't have progressed that great. Like some of this, mechanics or just the way the game play is probably wouldn't have been obvious to me as a kid, but I think I would have just thrown myself full into it just because to me it would have been, oh my god, this is a computer game on a little Game Boy. So just that thing alone would be so cool to me that I would give it, an honest try to get through it. But so I really enjoyed my time with it, but I 100% agree it's not for everybody. Like you said, it's RPG at the frame rate of 1. Like, if you like to read, then fantastic, because there's some pictures, but not many. Uh, so
I think my biggest note for them is I think the opening area doesn't do a good enough job of making the screens look different enough where you really understand the moving around mechanic.
yeah.
It took me a while to kind of be able to visualize the 3D space in the forest.
Yeah, because I get confused by the only using the 3 arrows for the directions usually. I know
Yeah.
as it opens up, goes to 4, but that opening area only gives you the 3. So I was constantly like, "Oh, you gotta go that way," and then I would go back the way I just came because I'm getting confused, like, trying to visualize where I am. And then, it took me a little bit to, be like, "Oh, they keep talking about the trees," and it's like, "Listen to the trees." I'm like, "Oh, so the
Mhm.
trees do talk to you and give you hints and stuff." So it took me a little bit to kinda understand fully what was going on, but I just like the idea, like, the bad guy's like a sorcerer with a dragon, and he just turned everybody in the land into trees, and then the one guy he didn't like into a statue, and then it's like, "Yeah, go fix this." And it's literally like the classic old man, like, I don't know why you've been with this old man, but he's like, "Today's the day. Go across the street and talk to the shaman
Mother
guy.
Willow.
Yeah, let him know you're ready to get out there. He'll
Oh,
look at
that
his
guy.
crystal ball and give you, passwords," which I don't know if the
What's the guy from
password
Resident Evil say? That's what this guy is like, where he's like, he's had a line. The
the guy
weird
from Resident
Resident
Evil.
Evil 4, the weird vendor. Didn't he have something he said?
"Oh, what are you buying? What are you
Yeah.
selling?
What are you buying? What are you selling? That's what this guy basically is.
Oh, you're going in the woods? Fantastic. Don't kill the trees, they're the people." But, I
Sh-
don't know, I enjoyed my time with it. I'm sure I rank it higher than you guys, so I put it at 55 because I might go back to it. So
sh-
that's why I'm here to throw the weird choices in.
sh-
Yeah, this was like a museum piece for me. I still put it down at 162. I liked appreciating it for what it was at the time. like I said, I made it about halfway in because I used a guide, and I was gonna see if even using a guide if I could finish it before we recorded, and I only made it about halfway in because you do just have to grind at certain points and
Yeah.
just like random battle after random battle, like level yourself up, and it's not that interesting. So I don't know. I've got the save file there if I ever want to finish it. I'm about halfway in.
And I wanted to say that I could see Sean playing this game, and they're like, "Listen to the trees, man." And then Sean's like, "These stupid hippies! Oh my god!" 174
To
for
quote,
yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say to quote, no one can know about this podcast. This is a game for if you wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, but you didn't have any friends. That's how they describe the first Final Fantasy. It's a lot like that.
I get you a Game Boy there because no one wants to throw dice with you on a Sunday.
174 for me, and
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I put it there because I was actually surprised that like I had games like NES Baseball down at the bottom of my
Mhm.
list, and there's actually still games that I would actually play at the bottom of here. This is one I would not come back to, but can I just end by saying that I 100% respect it? Like I really do respect it, and this is from a company that is still a rather large company in 2026. They don't like I don't they still make games for systems. I don't think they make their own IPs anymore, but they certainly still develop a lot of games. So just a company that I didn't know a lot about outside of Shadowgate. Like
Mm.
they've just
Oh
made a lot
yeah,
of ports that I'm familiar with. Like they made like
I
the
didn't know
Game
they made
Boy.
Shadowgate, but that makes a lot of sense.
Right. I mean Shadowgate's so similar, and Shadowgate's I think a better game. I think.
I
And
used to rent Shadowgate like constantly, and we could never figure out how to get very far in it. But you know, when you would rent a game, there would be like the save file on there of the last person
Yeah.
who rented it. So we would load up file 2 and be like, they're in like a whole nother area. How do you even get over here? Like,
this
I
guy's a
might go back and
genius.
finish that game at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
What is
Shed.
this nonsense? That was what it was instead of live streaming. You'd go
Yeah.
rent and then hope somebody else's save file was on there, and you'd be like, "All right.
Hmm.
Oh, you get all the worlds unlocked. All right then." Like,
Hmm. Right. Yeah, Shadowgate is the only original IP that I knew about, but they did develop some of the Batman games for Game Boy. They did like Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, like those type of Game Boy games. So they
Not
actually
exactly
worked with some really big franchises back in the day. But yeah, Shadowgate, and then they also made the Genocide games, which I think is just a crazy title. Just
so I look forward to Sword of Hope, Vampire Crawler DLC. That'll be pretty cool.
that would be that
let's
that would
see what we're
work.
playing next time. Sean, what year did we play in that bowling league?
Oh
It's like
God.
98. I was gonna say 98. So the game we're playing next week is the game that took all my lawn mowing money in the summer of 1998. We're gonna be playing Virtua Fighter 2, which they had in the bowling alley arcade, but this is for Sega Genesis.
Oh no, another subpar fighting game port on Sega. Fantastic.
I know of the Dreamcast one. I don't what wait,
Oh, this one's they're in for a rough time.
were they released at like the same time? Were they still doing Genesis games with the Dreamcast? I need to check the
I don't
wiki on
know.
this. Hold on. Am I
Sega was
confusing it for another game? Nope, this is
Sega
it.
was releasing 45 systems every 3 years, so I don't know what was on what.
All right. Let me see if this also came out on Dreamcast, if they were double dipping here. Virtua Fighter 2, come on. Sega Saturn, yep. Genesis. PlayStation. Oh, it did not come out on Dreamcast. That must have been 3,
Alrighty.
but it came out on
Well,
Saturn.
see how Virtue Fighter 2 holds up.
Yeah, 3 was on Dreamcast. Okay. Fascinating stuff. All right, tune in next week for our Virtua Fighter flashbacks on the probably most inferior way to play it. And leave us some comments down below. Let us know how you would answer some of those Nintendo questions incorrectly. Let me know if you disagree, agree with those questions, and let us know down below what you playing, what you looking forward to for Nintendo right now. Give just any Nintendo thoughts. If you're thinking Nintendo, put it in the comments down below. And we will see you next time. Bye bye.